Hi all, today we're making a 3D floral granny pillow. The kit includes green and blue options. We'll demo with green. This pillow measures around 18*18 inches, with each hexagonal granny side at 3 inches. It's made up of 32 hexagonal floral pieces. The kit includes 3 colors of yarn for the granny pattern center and white and green yarns for the outer rim. The kit contains a 3mm crochet hook, a yarn sewing needle, and 8 marker buttons. The core of this granny piece consists of double crochet and chain stitches, followed by crocheting the blue body. Next, we crochet the petals from the inner half stitches of the flower core. As observed, the petals are crafted in 3D. Then, we secure the petal tips with white thread, and finally, crochet the edges with green yarn. Now, let's start the first piece. Take out the olive green yarn and begin with a magic ring to crochet the flower core. Pinch the thread in your hand and wrap it around your index finger twice. Pinch the loop and then transfer the loop to your other hand. Take out the crochet hook and insert it into the large hole. Hook the thread out. Now, you should see a loop on the crochet hook. Then, yarn over and pull the yarn through the loop on the hook. You'll see a V-shaped stitch forming. This is our first chain stitch. Repeat this process for the next 5 chain stitches. We have completed 6 chain stitches, resulting in 6 V-shaped stitches. Count from the bottom to the top, locate the 3rd chain stitch, and mark the outer half of the stitch. Stretch the loop and set the crochet hook aside. Place the marker on the left half of the 3rd stitch. Then, reinsert the crochet hook and tighten the loop. We are now going to crochet a double crochet stitch. Let me show you how to do it. Yarn over, so there are 2 loops on the crochet hook, then insert the hook into the big hole and hook out with yarn. There are 3 loops on the crochet hook. Yarn over and pull through 2 loops, leaving 2 loops still on the crochet hook. Yarn over again and pull through the remaining 2 loops at once, completing our first double crochet stitch. Then followed with 3 chain stitches. Make 1 double crochet and 3 chain stitches as one group, and repeat this process another 4 times. Let's do it once more. Yarn over and crochet the 2nd double crochet stitch. 2nd double crochet stitch is finished, then followed by 3 chain stitches. After crocheting the last 3 chains, stretch out the loop. We can see that there are 3 turning chain stitches at the beginning, followed by 5 double crochet stitches, making a total of 6 vertical stitches here. Now, start to tighten the magic ring by finding the short yarn tail. Gently pull the yarn to locate the movable thread, then tug the thread in the opposite direction to close the hole. Then, pull the yarn tail to tighten the loop, completing the magic ring. Locate the back half of the stitch which marked and make a slip stitch. Insert the hook into the stitch, yarn over and pull the thread out, then draw it through the loop on the hook. This closes the flower core. Cut the yarn off. Then cut off the short yarn tail. Switch to blue yarn for the second part, leaving a 4 inches yarn tail. Then, tie a single knot to form a small loop. Locate the first V-shaped stitch on the left side of the yarn tail where we just made slip stitch. Insert the hook into the inner half of the loop, then place the blue loop onto the hook. Hold the yarn in your other hand, pinch the working piece, and press the yarn tail to the back. Hook the blue loop through the green loop, pulling gently to adjust the size of the loop. Followed with 3 chain stitches. The 3 turning chains are completed. Continue with a double crochet stitch into the hole where we made the slip stitch before. Yarn over and insert into the hole. Press yarn tail to the back of the piece. Yarn over and pull the thread out forms 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over and pull through 2 loops on the hook twice. The first double crochet stitch is finished. Then, follow up with a second double crochet stitch in the next back loop of the V-stitch. Second double crochet stitch is finished. Crochet 2 chains. Now, skip 1 stitch and crochet a double crochet stitch in the back loop of the next V-stitch. After that, follow with 2 double crochet stitches in the back loops of the next 2 stitches. Then 2 chains. Make 3 double crochet stitches and 2 chain stitches as one group, and repeat this process another 4 times. The last 2 chains has finished. After completing the second round of crocheting, you will find 1 V-stitch left uncrocheted. Remember this spot. Then, make a slip stitch in the first hole to close this round. Let's look at the crocheted piece. The double crochet stitches shape the hexagon sides, and the chain stitches create the corners. Let's move to the third round. Start with 3 chain stitches. Then, crochet a double crochet stitch into this hole. Next, crochet a double crochet stitch on corresponding stitch of the double crochet stitches from the previous round. Then, make the third double crochet stitch. Continue with the fourth double crochet stitch in the next large hole. We can see 5 vertical column stitches here. Then crochet 2 chains. 5 double crochet stitches and 2 chain stitches form one group. Repeat this process another 5 times. Make 1 double crochet in the same large hole. You can see each large hole has 2 vertical column stitches. Then, follow up with 3 double crochet stitches in each corresponding stitch of the previous double crochet. Continue with a double crochet stitch in the large hole. Then 2 chains. In the third round, each side has 5 vertical stitches, which is 2 more than in the second round. Continue repeating this group until you reach the end. After completing the last 2 chain stitches, make a slip stitch in the first hole to close the round. With the third round completed, we now start crocheting the fourth round. Start with 3 chain stitches. Crochet a double crochet stitch into the first hole. Next, crochet 4 double crochet stitches into the corresponding double crochet stitch of the previous round. Then, follow with a double crochet stitch in the large hole. And chain 2. Take a look at what we've got here. Those starting chains plus the 6 double crochets add up to 7 vertical columns in total. 7 double crochet stitches and 2 chain stitches make up one side of the hexagon. We'll do this combo 5 more times to complete it. Let's go again. Start with a double crochet stitch in the big hole. Then, crochet 5 double crochet stitches into the stitches that align with each vertical column from the previous round. Next, continue with a double crochet stitch in the large hole. Then, chain 2 stitches. The second side is now complete. Let's finish the remaining groups in the same way as before. After the last 2 chains, make a slip stitch in the first hole to close this round. Stretch the yarn out and then cut the thread. The blue base has been crocheted and now forms a hexagonal shape. We now proceed to crochet the 3D petals. For the first round of petals, we use chain stitches and single crochet stitches. Then, we use single crochet, half double crochet, and double crochet stitches in the second round to give the petals their fullness. Take out the yellow yarn, leave a 4 inches yarn tail, and tie a single knot. You'll notice that the last stitch of the first round of the flower core remains uncrocheted, aligning with the corners of the hexagon. We're going to hook the petals right into each corner. Let's check out where these spots are. Insert hook into the front half of the last stitch of the flower core. Then put the yellow loop on the hook. Use one hand to hold the yarn and press the yarn tail to the back. Hook the yellow loop out and then crochet 7 chains. Stretch out the loop and place a marker around the entire chain stitches. Insert the hook into the half of the third stitch from the top and crochet a single crochet stitch. Continue with 4 more single crochet stitches into the half of the remaining stitches. Five single crochet stitches are now complete. Then, make a slip stitch back to the starting stitch. Remove the marker and make a slip stitch in this position. Find the stitch for creating the second petal in the corner, right below the large hole. Crochet into the front half of that stitch and make a slip stitch. Then follow up with 7 single crochet stitches. Add a marker as before. Continue with 5 single crochet stitches starting from the half of the third stitch from the top. Then, make a slip stitch back to the starting place. Then, make another slip stitch into the front half of the stitch that corresponds to the double crochet stitch from the first round. Next, repeat the last group of stitches 4 more times to create a total of 6 petals. Make a slip stitch at the starting place to close this round. The first round of 6 petals is complete, and we now begin the second round of crochet. For the first stitch of the second round, locate the remaining half of the first stitch, hook into this stitch, and crochet a single crochet stitch. Then, crochet a half double crochet in the second half stitch. Yarn over and insert the hook into the stitch, then pull the yarn through, leaving 3 loops on the hook. Then yarn over again and pull through all 3 loops at once to complete the half double crochet stitch. Then, crochet a half double crochet into the 3rd loop. Crochet 2 double crochet stitches into the next 2 loops. Now, we've completed 1 single crochet, 2 half double crochets, and 2 double crochets. We move on to crochet 3 single crochet stitches at the marked spot. Remove the marker. After completing 3 single crochet stitches, place a marker at the 3rd single crochet stitch position. Mirror the stitches on the crocheted side by hooking 2 double crochet stitches, 2 half double crochet stitches, and 1 single crochet stitch on the opposite side. The first double crochet stitch is complete. On the crocheted side, we work into the half stitches, and on the other side, we crochet into the full stitches of the previous round. Second double crochet stitch is complete. Then, make a half double crochet stitch. Next, the second half double crochet. Finally, we crochet a single crochet. Make a slip stitch in the large hole. Then we skip 1 stitch and make a slip stitch in the next stitch. The first petal is finished. Now, repeat the last group of stitches for the next petal. Locate the first half stitch and crochet the first single crochet into it. Continue with 2 half double crochets and 2 double crochets. Continue to crochet 3 single crochet stitches at the marked spot. We crochet 2 double crochets, 2 half double crochets, and 1 single crochet on the other side. Then make a slip stitch into this hole, skip 1 stitch, and make another slip stitch. Now that 2 petals are finished, repeat the stitches of the last petal 4 more times to complete all the petals. Cut off the yarn tails. Continue to finish the remaining petals using the same method. After completing 6 petals, stretch out the loop and cut the yarn. The 6 petals cover the corners of the hexagon and also conceal the gaps between. Thread the yarn needle and weave in the yellow yarn tail on the back of the crochet piece. Sew the yarn through the nearest stitches and then tie a knot. Then weave the yarn through the stitches to hide it. Cut off the yarn tail. Take out the white yarn, leave a 4-inch tail, and tie a single knot. Locate the blue thread and the corresponding hole. This is where we will begin to crochet. Insert the hook into the large hole and place the white loop onto the crochet hook. Pinch the yarn tail against the back of the piece and pull the white loop through. Then, follow with 4 chain stitches. We move on to crochet a half double crochet to fix the petal in place. Yarn over, turn the petals up, and pinch them together. Remove the marker. We insert the hook into the marked stitch in the petal and then into the big hole. Then pull out a loop, leaving 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over and pull through all 3 loops at once. Then we crochet a half double crochet into the chain stitch hole beside it. We then crochet half double crochet stitches on the corresponding double crochet stitches, for a total of 7 half double crochet stitches. Cut off the yarn tail. Next, crochet a half double crochet into the big hole. Follow that with 2 chain stitches. We end up on this side with a total of 9 half double crochet and 2 chain stitches. Continue crocheting the remaining 5 sides in this pattern on each side. Crochet the first half double crochet to fix the petal in place. Continue crocheting the remaining stitches as we did before. After completing the last 8 half double crochet stitches on the last side, we will make a slip stitch in the first chain hole. This round is finished. Pull out the loop and cut off the yarn. We're now going to crochet the last round with the green yarn, leaving a 4 inches yarn tail, and tying a knot. Press the white thread tail onto the back of the crochet piece, insert the hook into the white hole, and place the green loop onto the crochet hook. Hook out the green yarn and then make 4 chain stitches. Then put the tails on the back to secure them in place. And crochet a half double crochet. Then we crochet 9 half double crochets on the corresponding stitches. You can see that the first stitch is here. Cut off the yarn tails. Finally, we crochet another half double crochet stitch into the big hole. Then crochet 2 chains. Looking at this side, there are a total of 11 half double crochet stitches and 2 chain stitches. So, repeating this combination for each group, we will finish crocheting the remaining 5 sides. Now we arrive at the last half double crochet, we crochet it into the big hole. Then we make a slip stitch in the chain stitches. Stretch out the loop and cut off the yarn. Use the yarn needle to sew the yarn tail to the back of the crochet piece. We repeat the previous steps to crochet a total of 32 pieces. These pieces are divided into 6 groups in color, with 2 groups having 6 pieces each, and the other 4 groups having 5 pieces each. Now, we're going to connect these pieces. First, we'll crochet them row by row, and then we'll join these rows together. First off, let's figure out where to start and end the connections between these pieces. Let's take a look at the corresponding stitches on the hexagonal corner of the half double crochet. Locate the place and mark it. Take out another piece and find the corresponding stitch for the half double crochet on the hexagonal corner. Use a marker to connect them. Then let's find the end points. Look for the corresponding half double crochet stitches on both pieces and use markers to connect them. Please note, the points of connection are not large holes, but rather the half double crochet stitches. Let's use the same method as above to connect the other pieces. We've finished joining 3 pieces together, and now we'll turn the pieces over to start joining them from the back side. Grab a 20 inches length of green yarn, thread it through a yarn needle, and tie a single knot at the end. Locate the marker and sew on these V-stitches on the back. Thread the yarn needle through the first set of stitches and pull it to the end. Next, sew through the loop of the single knot that we just made on the thread. We pull the yarn tail tightly to secure it in place. Then we pass through the second set of V-stitches. Hide the yarn tail in the middle and continue sewing the third set of V-stitches. Sew the fourth set of V-stitches. Let's take a look at the front side. After sewing, you'll notice that the half stitches are raised. Cut off the short yarn tail and continue sewing the pieces together. These are the last stitches to connect. Now that two pieces are connected together, we tie a knot in the final loop and then hide the yarn in the back stitches. Cut off the yarn. Repeat the process to finish connecting the remaining two pieces. You can refer to the instruction for the arrangement of the flower pieces, or simply arrange them as you like. Three pieces of the granny patterns are connected together. Now, we have connected two sets of 3 flower pieces. Here are the 4 sets of flower pieces already connected, each set comprising 4 pieces. The method of connection is the same as before. The last 2 sets are composed of 5 flower pieces each. Next, we'll show you how to connect them row by row. Please refer to the instructions and take out the sets of 4 and 3 flower pieces, respectively. Let's find the starting point for the connection. It's right here at the V-stitch corresponding to this half double crochet stitch. Let's place a marker here. Now, let's do the same to find the starting point for the other set of pieces. Connect these 2 starting points together using markers. Next, let's find the end point for connecting the pieces. Again, it's at the corresponding V-stitch for the half double crochet stitch, so let's mark it with a marker. Let's also find the connection endpoint for the other piece. Connect them together. Let's sew these two sets of pieces together using the same method as before. We will demonstrate it again. Cut a 20 inches length of green yarn, thread it through a yarn needle, and tie a single knot at one end. Thread the yarn needle through the initial set of stitches and pull it through to the end. Next, thread the yarn needle through the loop created by the knot and continue through the second set of stitches. Tighten the yarn tail and conceal it in the middle. Continue sewing through the remaining stitches. Cut off the yarn tail. Now that we've reached the point where three corners meet. First, sew these two pieces together at the vertex position, passing the needle through the large hole. Then, connect the other corner together through the large hole as well. Now three corners are connected together. Continue sewing the remaining stitches together one by one. After joining the last two stitches, complete the process by connecting the two corners through the large hole. Next, tie a knot and sew the yarn tail to the back stitches. Now that rows 1 and 2 are connected, proceed to join the remaining rows one by one. All the rows have been successfully connected together. Now, we're going to fold this piece. Locate the fourth row of flower pieces and fold them in half from the middle section from back to the front. Let's begin by sewing this side of the piece from bottom to top, then we'll sew the other side of the piece in the same manner. We leave the top center part unsewn, reserving it for pillow inserts. Now let's find the starting point for stitching. Each side of the hexagon has 11 half double crochet stitches. When we fold it, the folding point is at the 6th stitch, which is also our starting point. Let's locate the 6th stitch. Count 6 stitches up from the bottom. Here is the 6th stitch. Pin a marker here at the corresponding V stitch. Now, let's find the folding point on the top. In the same way, let's mark the 6th stitch from the bottom as the folding point. This point will also be our end point for connecting. Let's begin sewing this side, leaving the marker stitch unsewn. Find the first stitches above it and start sewing them one by one. The sewing method remains the same as before. Tighten the yarn tail. Continue sewing the remaining stitches together. Cut the short yarn tail. Now, we've reached the position where corners meet. We sew 2 vertices together through the large hole. Then pass the yarn needle through the large hole of the other corner. Next, continue sewing stitches on this side one by one. Use the same method for connecting the corners. At the top, fold the piece down to meet the 3 corners together. Sew them together through the large hole. Then, proceed to sew the stitches on this side. After connecting the corners, continue sewing the remaining stitches. There should be 5 stitches left. We have sewn the last set of stitches together. Tie a knot at this point and hide the yarn tail within the stitches. After connecting this side, Proceed to sew the other side in the same manner. With both sides connected, we flipped the pillow inside out. We now insert the pillow inside. We use the markers to hold the pieces in place for later crocheting. Then take out the green yarn and tie a single knot. Use the crochet hook to close the opening. Locate the large holes at the corners of the 3 crochet pieces and insert hook through them all at once. Place the green loop onto the crochet hook, then gently pull the thread through all 3 holes. Next, let's stitch the opening closed. First, locate the corresponding stitches on each piece. Then, insert the crochet hook through the corresponding stitches on both pieces, yarn over, and pull the thread through both stitches. Use the same method to connect the other stitches one by one. Remove the marker and keep on crocheting. Now that we're at the point where the corners of the 3 pieces meet, let's first connect the large holes of 2 corners together. Then crochet through the large hole at the corner of the 3rd piece. Yarn over and pull the thread through, joining the 3 pieces together. Continue crocheting to the end in the same manner as before. Here is the last joining point, and we follow the same pattern as before to connect them. Stretch the loop, leaving about 6 inches of yarn, and then cut off the yarn. In order to make it easier for later disassembly and cleaning, we use the yarn tail to tie a slip knot. Then we use a yarn needle to hide the yarn tail. Since we're using a different way to connect them, the stitches around the opening are a bit raised. If you want to remove the pillow insert, just locate the raised part and pull the thread to take it out. Locate the yarn tail and gently pull on it to open the pillow.